Hi, welcome to Elizabeth Reads. Today we have Girl in Real Life. We are on Chapter 3, The Creep Cabin. The weekend after the Pretty and Proud shoot, I spent most of Saturday lying on the sofa in the snug with Miss Fizzy. It was raining and I had the worst stomachache ever, so I was watching old episodes of The Vampire Diaries and doodling raindrops on my notepad instead of revising for the physics test Mr. Jacobs was giving us on Monday. I'd Googled Isaac Newton, but so many pages came up I couldn't face reading any of them. If Mr. Jacobs liked Newton's theories that much, they were probably kind of boring. I sent a message to Hallie asking her if she'd started revising for the physics test yet. Stupid question. Hallie, you mean you haven't even started? Eva, test is Monday. She sent a link to a revision site called Bright Sparks. Thanks, X, I typed back, but I still had pains in my stomach, and Mum had put new scented diffusers around the house, and they were giving me a headache. Another message from Hallie popped up. Want to get a milkshake? I've just finished my homework. I can help you revise. I wondered if Gabby would be with her. She'd been stuck to Hallie like a wart ever since Kaja left at the end of year 7. Gabby had even asked Miss Wilson to put her name on the student council waiting list, which wasn't even a real thing, just because Hallie was on the council too. I knew Gabby was trying to push me out, but Hallie couldn't see it. She thought we could hang around together as a 3, which maybe would have worked if Gabby wasn't so annoying. I checked the time on my phone. Dad would be back from his bike ride soon. Mom, I said, can I meet Hallie for a milkshake? I need her notes on... I scanned my brain for something scientific sounding. The pH scale. Mom frowned at the rain outside. It's a bit wet to be walking into town, sweetie. I'll take an umbrella. Can't Hallie email her notes? I want us to sort out our wardrobes using those organizers I showed you last week for the Sunday vlog. But my test is on Monday, I said. Mom sighed through her nose. Hallie could always come over and film it with us, and you could revise afterwards. I put my head on one side. You know her mom won't let her be on the channel. Mom shrugged and removed an invisible piece of fluff from her sleeve. I thought Rose might have changed her mind by now. I doubt it, I said, mostly to myself. Hallie's mom is a child psychologist. She thinks the channel is damaging me psychologically. Last summer, she said if I ever wanted to talk to her about it, I could. She gave me a card with her email and phone number on it in fancy writing, and her initials RW in a gold circle at the top. Mom got kind of annoyed about that. And Hallie stopped coming over so much because her mom didn't want her to be exposed to public scrutiny like I was. While I was stuck doing dumb stuff for the channel, Hallie started hanging out with Gabby more outside of school. It got even worse when Mom and Dad got a bunch of new sponsors. I had to do even more photos and even more filming, and I started missing out on everything real. Please, Mom, I begged. I really didn't want to miss this milkshake with Hallie, especially if there was a chance Gabby wouldn't be tagging along. Mr. Jacobs will put me in detention if I fail another test. That did not get a reaction. I could go to that new crepe place that's open. Didn't you want me to take some photos there? Oh, the crepe cabin, Mom said, suddenly interested. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I'll let them know you're on your way. But take the big umbrella. Your hair always goes flat in the rain. I was silently sighed. I was sick of Mom obsessing over my hair. I'd asked if I could get it cut short before Christmas, but she'd said no. They'd just agreed some sponsored posts with a new hair mask company to refresh and rejuvenate dull and lifeless hair, which I was trying not to take as a personal insult. I messaged Hallie telling her to meet me at the creep cabin, which is what everyone at school had been calling it, and put on my trainers. Eva, Mom called, wait a sec, you can't go like that. I rolled my eyes. Even meeting my best friend for a milkshake required a costume change. I followed Mom upstairs and waited while she picked out a new jumper and restyled my hair. As she dotted concealer on my chin, I looked down at the jumper she'd chosen. It said SRSLY, ? Seriously? In massive letters. I looked at Mom in the mirror. Seriously? Very funny. Mom kissed my forehead, then pouted and repinned a strand of hair so it dangled in front of my eye. Get that jumper in the pics, okay? I nodded and swept the hair behind my ear when she wasn't looking. My stomach was still aching when I reached the creep cabin. My trainers were soaked from the rain. Inside, about 100 light bulbs dangled from the ceiling. I could just make out Hallie through the steamed-up window. She was sitting on a stool by herself and waved when she saw me. I felt instantly relieved Gabby wasn't there. Oh, you have to see this, Hallie said, spinning on the stool and holding out a menu. She had her gymnastics leotard on under her hoodie, and her brown cheeks had a warm glow. The hoodie has her name in capital letters on the back. Mine's in a drawer somewhere at home. I thought maybe I'd be allowed to go back to training one day, but it's been so long I doubt it would even fit me anymore. Maybe it would have been different if I was any good at gymnastics like Hallie, but the general rule of my life is that I'm rubbish at just about everything. Mom says that's what makes me so relatable. So now, me failing at stuff is part of their brand. They do flavored popcorn, Hallie said. I'm so getting jalapeno pepper flavor. I wrinkled my nose. That sounds gross. Eva, said a man standing behind me. He had pens tucked behind both ears and his apron said, "The Crepe Cabin." I'm John. Thanks so much for coming. He didn't look that creepy to me, but then he smiled and one of his canine teeth poked out over his bottom lip like a fang. Order whatever you want. It's on the house. Hallie let out a small whoop and I accidentally snorted. I'd appreciate it if you could photograph our signature crepes. We can do vanilla bean with peaches and ice cream? Amazing, Hallie said. And maybe the strawberry and chocolate extreme for you, Eva? Thanks, I said. And can my friend try the jalapeno popcorn? Sure, but I'm warning you, it's pretty spicy. He did a double eyebrow raise as he took our menus and then headed through a door that said Crepe Cabin Crew Only. Hallie stretched out her arms until her back clicked. This is so awesome, she said, and all for free. I smiled. Sometimes it felt like there was a different kind of price to pay for all the free stuff, though. Honestly, Hallie said, giving me a sideways glance as though she could read my mind, if you complain all about Eva right now, I'm going to slap you in the face with my crepe. I laughed, which made my stomach ache even worse. Hallie once said that other people have to work really hard to get a life like mine. I get everything handed to me, and I never did anything to earn it except get born. So that dread in my stomach I'd been getting about the channel, thick and murky like Dad's potato soup, I hadn't told Hallie about that. It had joined the other stuff that no one ever sees about me, like the little patch of eczema behind my left knee and the spots Mom hides under concealer. Anyway, I thought as Creepy John brought our food over, Hallie is right, the channel does have its upsides. I tried to take a photo with both the crepe and my seriously top in the shot, which wasn't exactly easy, particularly when Hallie was trying to smear chocolate sauce on my face. I chucked a piece of jalapeno popcorn at her and then sent the photos to my mom. Hallie twirled round on the stool and pulled a gigantic smile. I took a video and uploaded it to my TikTok. Then I scrolled down and accepted follower requests from names I recognized and deleted the ones from total strangers. I kept all my own accounts private. I didn't want any of my parents' followers seeing my actual life. So, are these your physics notes? Hallie asked, picking up my notebook. Oh, they were meant to be, I said, sucking chocolate sauce off my fingers, but I ended up doodling instead. Good job I brought mine, huh? She pulled out a wad of colored cards. They're ordered by topic. Don't mess up the order because it took me ages and Mom's testing me on them later. I nodded and noticed a comment from Gabby flash up on my phone. Hey, where are you at with Hal's? I turned my phone over so Hallie didn't see. It had been ages since just me and Hallie had hung out together. I did not want Gabby turning up. Hallie put a spoon of ice cream in her mouth and flicked through my notebook. Your doodles are seriously good, Eva. You should show Miss Wilson. She tossed a handful of popcorn in her mouth. Maybe I was looking out of the window at people trying to avoid the rain. Maybe because art is the only subject I'm any good at, and maybe because I didn't want everyone knowing. It would probably be another thing for the channel to ruin, like water parks and gymnastics and avocados, though I was never really that keen on avocados. Oh, wow, Hallie said, grabbing another handful of popcorn. You have to try this. I took a piece and tossed it into my mouth. It was like chewing fire. I coughed and gulped down my milkshake while Hallie laughed and patted my back. It did not help my stomachache situation. Hallie, I said after I gulped down half my milkshake, I now have third-degree burns on my tongue. Sorry, I forgot your lameness about spice. OMG, remember that time at my house you thought hot pepper sauce was tomato ketchup? Remember, I said. I think the inside of my mouth is still scarred. I'm going to the toilet. Don't eat all that ice cream, okay? I need it to cool my throat down. I could still hear Hallie chuckling as I went through the door to the bathroom and into a cubicle. And then I saw my underwear. I wasn't 100% sure what it was at first. I'd expected it to look like regular blood, but this was a brownish red, like the color of the Birkenstocks farmer wore in the summer. So it took a few seconds to sink in. I'd started my period. I sat there for a minute, not really sure what to do. I had this weird feeling, a mixture of relief and fear. It meant I wasn't the last girl in my class to start because Jenna Baxter and Dinah Jackson had told me a couple of weeks ago they still hadn't started either. During PSHE, Miss Wilson had said, puberty isn't a race. But like most things adults tell you, that's not true. I felt so glad I didn't start at school. Susie Greenwood started hers the first week of year 7 in a German lesson. By lunchtime, she was crying because everyone had found out about it. I still don't think I'll ever forget the German word for period. I'd heard it so many times. And Susie's not even in my class. She always changes into a sports bra for PE, apparently. I wondered if my boobs would magically spring into action now I'd finally started my period. I peered down my top at my flat chest. Nothing seemed to be happening. I texted Hallie, emergency, need you in toilets. I made a wedge of loo roll, put it in my underwear, then pulled my jeans back up. It felt a bit bulky. I prayed no one would notice. The door swung open and Hallie called, Eva, you okay? Are you sick? I opened the cubicle door and checked no one else was in there. I got my period. Oh, finally, Hallie said, and hugged me so hard my feet practically lifted off the floor. She'd started hers in year 6, and I'd been waiting for mine ever since. I'd been with her when she started in Mr. Elliott's class, and now she was with me. Just us two, like when we used to make dens in her back garden out of branches and bed sheets. No one else from school, no camera watching me, no followers. It felt kind of nice. Suddenly, Hallie let me go and said, Oh no, Eva! What? I said, looking around, thinking someone must have just walked in without me noticing. I just realized, Hallie looked me dead in the eyes. You started your period in the creep cabin. And I'm pretty sure the entire cafe heard our laughter. And that's the end of chapter 3. Join me next time.